Happy Monday, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. I'm MGTV5 First Alert Meteorologist Isaiah Santiago. I hope you had a great weekend. Today is Monday, July 20th, 2026, which means we are ending the month of July. We're almost done with the month of July already, and we're heading into August. And that is less than a couple of days away right now. Um, Anyways, thank you all so much for being here today. I appreciate you guys so much. But before I get started on the video, I want to say thank you all so much for subscribing to my channel. I have 67 subscribers on my YouTube channel right now. For those of you who subscribe to my channel, thank you all so very much for doing that for me. That helps my YouTube channel grow, and I appreciate it so much. My goal is reaching 100, so we'll see if I can beat my record or not, but we'll see what happens. But anyways, I'm glad you're here this afternoon. But before I get started on the video this afternoon, I want to say hello to a couple of people this afternoon. First of all, I want to say hello, most importantly, to my mom and dad, my siblings, Eddie Jr., Malachi, and Sarai, my two dogs, Odie and Scrappy. I want to say hello to Coach Pelias, Coach Toro, his daughter Brianna. I want to say hi to Marbella, Anna Joey, my good friend Nicole, Miss Garcia, Deanna, Jayla. I want to say hello to Larry. I want to say hello to Mr. Alvarez. I want to say hello to Angelica from Mr. Alvarez class. I want to say hello to Daniela from Mr. Alvarez class as well. I also want to say hello to Miss Elsie. I want to say hello to Uncle Janito in Pennsylvania, along with my grandma in Pennsylvania as well. I also want to say hello to Diofredo and his daughter in Thomasville, North Carolina. And I also want to say hi to Miley, Miss Torres, Mr. Torres, Mr. Perez. And I also want to say hello to my good friends from Hope Sound Christian Academy as well. Thank you all so very much for being here this afternoon, and I appreciate it so much. All right. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and talk about what's going on with the tropics right now. According to the MGTV5 Tropics Update Center, right now the National Hurricane Center is watching something in the Gulf. Say hello to Tropical Depression 2. The National Hurricane Center is keeping a close eye on Tropical Depression number 2. At this time, at the 3 o'clock p.m. advisory Eastern Standard Time, it has now has max wind speeds up to 35 miles per hour. It is moving northwest at 3 miles per hour, and the pressure is 1007 millibars. So the movement of Tropical Depression 2 is moving very slow right now. Anyway, here is the load that I've been talking about all weekend long. And as you can see, there is a bunch of clusters of showers and heavy thunderstorms for a good portion of Florida. By this time tomorrow, it's going to be soaking a good portion of Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and even the state of Louisiana and heading into South Texas as we head into the next several days here. So that's something I've been watching over the weekend. All right, guys, hold on 1 second. All right, guys, here we go. All right, guys, here we go. So here is the watches and warnings from the National Hurricane Center right now. The orange is for tropical storm warning, yellow, tropical storm watch, red, hurricane warning, and purple is a hurricane watch. So right now, the National Hurricane Center has placed a tropical storm warning for New Orleans, Lake Charles, Mobile, Dolphin, Jackson, Mississippi, including Port St. Joe, Madison, Tyler, and Perry, are all under a tropical storm warning in effect until the next couple of hours. So just know that tropical storm conditions are possible with winds reaching 39 miles per hour or greater. The tropical storm watch highlighted in yellow, as you can see there, is for a good portion of Sebring, Ocola, Cedars Key, Jacksonville, Gainesville, Sandy Springs, Tifton, and includes Pensacola and Tallahassee. You guys are under a tropical storm watch in effect for the next couple of hours until the storm is no longer in effect for the area. It could be Tropical Storm Bertha as we head into tomorrow. So I'll be watching that very closely for you guys here in South Florida as well. All right, guys, here is the latest of Tropical Storm Depression 2. So, here is the latest of Tropical Depression 2 forecast cone. As you can see, there is the L there. So, first of all, it's going to be impacting Madison, Perry, Tyler, Port St. Joe, Panama City, Pensacola, including Tallahassee. Early tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, with wind speeds reaching 45 miles per hour, and then it's going to be moving to Dolphin and Mobile, Alabama on early Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. with wind speeds reaching 50 miles per hour. And then after that, it's going to be slamming Jackson, Mississippi, Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans, Louisiana on early Thursday morning at 7 a.m. with wind speeds of 40 miles per hour. And then it will continue to slam Texas and Louisiana as we head into early Friday morning at 7 a.m. with wind speeds reaching 35 miles per hour. Like I said, it's going to be Tropical Storm Bertha by tomorrow. So we'll check off that list for you guys tomorrow. And then the next name after that will be Cristobal. Anyways, here is the impacts for early Saturday morning. We're talking about 7 o'clock in the morning on early Saturday morning. Impacts will be felt across South Texas, especially Houston, San Antonio, Corpus Christi, and Brownsville, Texas, are all under that cone of uncertainty as we head into early on Saturday morning. So that's something we're going to have to watch as the day goes on for the rest of this week. With that said, let's go ahead and talk about now the low positions. As you guys can see in front of you, this will start midweek, starting on Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026, through Saturday, July 25th, 2026. The reds there is for GFS models. The red is for ECMWF models. The green is for Google AI models, and the green there is for AIFSENS models there. So you guys can remember every time we're tracking tropical storms, it is always still there. So please remember that. All right, guys, here's also a quick look about everything that is happening right now. As you guys can see in front of you, this is on the circulation like we've been dealing with the last couple of days, especially over the weekend where conditions were less favorable last week, and now conditions are more favorable, especially yesterday. So all those L's there, you can see those reds for GFS and the ECMWF models, which is a good agreement that the low positions will be impacting Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, New Orleans, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi, including Mobile, Dolphin, Alabama, Sandy Springs, and Tifton, Georgia, including Pensacola, Tallahassee, Port St. Joe, all the way down to Naples, and even up to Gainesville and Jacksonville, Florida. This also involves Brownsville, Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas, and the state of Houston, Texas is going to be dealing with those low position impacts as we head into the next several days. There is a good agreement from the National Hurricane Center. If the Hurricane Center stays right here, it's going to impact Jacksonville all the way through the state of Texas, which is going to be a concern. The National Hurricane Center has been watching this all last week and heading into the weekend too, which was last weekend. We're on the month of July already, and today is Monday. So there's a lot of good agreements from the National Hurricane Center as well, watching those areas of interest. So it will begin midweek all the way through Saturday. We're talking July 22nd, 2026, all the way to July 25th, 2026. Let's talk about more about this. So all those computer models are taking this left turn. So we got Naples involved, Tampa, Perry, Madison, Tyler, Port St. Joe, Gainesville, Jacksonville, Pensacola, Tallahassee, even the states of Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, including the state of Texas, is going to be slammed by heavy rain as we get closer to Wednesday and heading into the weekend for sure. So if you have any friends and family who lives in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and even the state of Texas, please let them know that they are going to be dealing with some widespread impacts because it could be Tropical Storm Bertha by the time we hit tomorrow. So Tropical Storm Bertha is a possibility. And then after that, after we're done with Bertha, it's going to be Cristobal, which will never happen until anytime soon. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk to you now about what's going to happen next since I already told you about those impacts. But before I close out the video, here is a quick look at the MGTV5 tropical threat. It's going to start today through Saturday. So we're talking about July 20th, 2026, all the way to July 25th, 2026. So we got a good bullseye. Yesterday, it was pretty bad yesterday. And now today, it got even worse. So all those dark greens and all those purples and dark blues there, that means that widespread impacts will be possible, especially if you live in the state of Alabama and Mississippi and Louisiana. We're talking about Dolphin, Mobile, Jackson, Mississippi, Dolphin, and Mobile, Alabama, including Lake Charles and Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Those greens there will be possible across Tallahassee, Port St. Joe, all the way down to Tyler. The blue is still standing against Pensacola, Tallahassee, and Port St. Joe there. The light blue is for Jacksonville, Gainesville, Okeechobee, Naples, Sarasota, and Tampa, including Columbia, South Carolina, Salisbury, North Carolina, and the yellows there is for Nashville, Tennessee. The yellows there will be possible across Houston, Corpus Christi, Texas, and Brownsville, Texas. So all those colors are going to be a big concern, especially as we head into the next couple of days. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season named storm list. So pay attention. The first one is Arthur. Now we're going to go through all the names. So are you ready? Here we go. Arthur, Bertha, Cristobal, Dolly, Edward, Faye, Gonzalo, Hannah, Isaias, Josephine, Kyle, Leah, Marco, Nana, Omar, Paulette, Renee, Sally, Teddy, Vicky, and Walfred. Those are your names. We got Arthur off the list right now. And the next one, like I said, is Bertha. And then the next one is going to be Cristobal right after that. Here is the rain total still to come from today through Saturday. We're talking from July 20th all the way to July 25th, 2026. Salisbury, North Carolina, Charleston, and Columbia, including the state of Georgia, Tifton, and Sandy Springs can pick up anywhere between 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Jacksonville, Florida, and Gainesville and Orlando, including Orlando and Cedar Key, can pick up anywhere between 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. Tampa and Naples down to Fort Myers and Marco Island can pick up anywhere between 1 to 2 and 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. Isolated spots will be higher in certain amounts. The heaviest of the rain will be for the state of Alabama, southwestern Alabama, Jackson, Mississippi, and Louisiana, with a widespread total of 8 to 12 inches of rainfall. That's your forecast for today. Stay safe out there.